and welcome to Plug Talk Sports. We're back. We got the usual suspects. We got Brandon, myself, and of course, Jonka Don't Stop. We're back. Last week we took a break to have the opportunity for, of course, our viewers, which is mainly here in the South Florida area, to have a chance to watch Inter Miami in the playoffs against New York City. We felt that it was the right decision as a team not to have, our show during a crucial playoff match. So we took the night off, but we're back tonight. It's great to be back. For some reason, it was only 1 week off, and I feel like it's been 2 years. I don't know why. But anyways, we'll go with plugs of the week. Let's start off with good news. Jonka, best thing from the week.
Best thing. Oh, boy. I guess it would just have to be that, I finally got a paycheck, from work and stuff, and I get to spend it on Pokemon cards. So,
Okay.
gotta make the collection bigger.
Okay, I see you. Brandon?
Best thing has got to be I actually went to Halloween Horror Nights over the weekend. And I have to say, I was kind of disappointed the last 2 years. But this one, the Halloween house, the Bloom house, and they even got this one about this New England, I forgot what it was, like New England ghosts who are haunting a pier or something like that. But the Halloween Horror Nights, it's good this year. It's good. It's really good this year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the weekend, though. I want to do that one so bad just because I'm curious how it would be like to experience it. So it's much different than seeing on YouTube. But Halloween Horror Nights definitely was good this year, better than I've seen in the past 3-4 years. So it's probably the best thing I've seen.
Nice. For me, I mean it's a good thing, but at the same time it was bad. But Columbus, as you guys know, I mentor the kids, broadcast. Football team is ranked right now 32 in the nation, and we played Miami Central, which is ranked number 3 in the nation. Man, we were down 35-7. We end up losing 42-35. So we made a huge comeback against the number 3 team in the nation. We had a chance to win the game, to tie the game at least. We hit a quarterback hit one of our receivers at the 20 on central side of the field. We're in the red zone as he catches, turns, takes 2 steps, gets stripped, and it sucked. The reason why I'd say it's good is man, to be able to hang with the top dogs like that, that's pretty impressive. And it was the first loss of the season for us, so we're now 8-1. So that was our first taste of defeat this season, with 1 game left this week in the regular season. So just very proud and impressed how the boys played against that team. Let's see bad news. Jonka, I know what you're going to say.
Man, everybody thinks of what I don't want to say, but it's just like, which team do I talk about? I guess I'm going to just have to come out and say it. I expected Aaron Boone, being a new manager, Aaron Judge with his incredible year, to at least win.
It's okay, but we want
to at least win 1 game, bro. 1 game. We had a lead in the last 3 games, and we couldn't hold on to it, bro. And we got swept by the stupid Astros.
Listen.
Now I don't know who to go for in the World Series, bro. Don't even talk to me.
Listen, we won 111 games, a historical season, and we lost to the Padres. So it's okay.
I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to be watching it just for Bryce Harper. That's all I'm going to watch it for. Not even a Phillies fan. Not even close to an Astros fan. But hopefully Bryce Harper at least gets some hardware, at least, on his ring. So.
Hey, man, you're talking to the wrong guy about that. Jonka absolutely hates Bryce Harper.
And I hate the Astros.
I mean, I don't know. Either they're just because, deserves it, whatever it is. But I'd rather have the Marlins in the World Series. And, again, I thought it was going to be like a Mets-Yankees one. So, seeing none of those teams make it, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Brandon, for you, worst thing,
honestly, because again, there's been the start of the NBA season, and that was probably some of the best week of basketball I've ever seen. I mean, I even want to watch the Kings now. You know what I mean? Like John Wall's back. The Kings with Sabonis and Fox and all those new guys they have over there in Sacramento are really awesome out west. And also the Celtics 3-0. The unfortunate part is my schedule has been so busy. I haven't been able to put down a episode for my own NBA courtside podcast. So that's the unfortunate part. My schedule right now, I'm really behind. Really behind, of course.
It is unfortunate because your podcast is very good. I recommend everyone taking a listen. It's very good.
Yes, for those who are interested in what I'm going to do in the next episode later on this week, I promise that schedule's going to open up a little bit more, hopefully. So,
for me, it has to be two things. The first one I'll explain. It happened today. How do you know how to begin it? Which you guys know, I have many interests. All of you guys know my career is in sports, but I have many interests as a person. Obviously, I love this country, and I have my own views on things, and my own morals, values, and views on things, as everyone does. I do see myself some point in my life when I'm done with my sports broadcasting career, being involved in politics in some form or way or some fashion. I don't know yet. I'm still 24, but in some fashion, I think maybe I will. God willing, who knows? So you guys know I took a risk, I would say, in my career, and took a position in the Ron DeSantis campaign, which it is a risk because, nowadays when you get involved, whether it's one side or the other, you're taking a risk. So I took a position, and one of the responsibilities when you're part of a campaign is called canvassing, which is you walk around, neighborhoods that they tell you to go to, and you're handing out flyers, political flyers. And unfortunately, yesterday towards the evening, somebody that we know in our campaign, because we work very closely, it's the same office with the Marco Rubio campaign. Unfortunately, he was attacked last night, by four men in Hialeah. He was just doing his job, handing out flyers, and four men approached him and told him because of his specific view that he couldn't be there. And the kid he's a young kid, I believe. He was sent to the hospital with internal bleeding, a fractured jaw, and I believe something, I forgot what the other one was, but I saw the pictures, and he was just had both black eyes. He had blood coming out of his forehead. And my point is, that hits close to home. It could have been me because I've gone walking before. It could have been me, and it's just overall, regardless of what you believe in, I don't think any human being, deserves that, for what they believe in. So for me, I think that was the worst thing I saw was today, just seeing that. It's unfortunate, but I'll leave it at that. Let's get. Oh, Jonka's gonna love this. I know he's gonna love this first topic. College football. The U is back, baby. Let's give it up. The U is back, baby. Remember that? National champions. We're going Mario Cristobal era. This is it. The golden era. They're back, baby.
It's only been 1 year.
The Canes going down against the Duke Blue Devils. Jonka, we'll give you the floor on this one first. Tell us, express to us your inner feelings.
Man, first of all, The Canes walked it. If you guys haven't seen my recent article, go read it. Plug Talk Sports. You already
Yep.
know. You guys know what to do. But the Canes before the game started, they were 15-4. Most most people would assume if you just knew about the Canes and Duke, we have a winning record 15-4 before the game started. So we know Duke as a basketball school, with Coach K and all that stuff. But as everybody knows me, I don't like to, I guess, how do you say, underestimate my opponents. I always say anything can happen. I always give everybody the possibility of winning, and especially being a a U fan, it's kind of you have to take that approach because obeyete este año. But yeah, no, I think the U just this last game coming off the win against Virginia Tech, I thought they were getting some momentum after losing 3 in a row. They found their offense a little bit better. The defense, I don't know what's going on with the defense. Like, to be honest, but I don't know. Coach Steele has to either. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. But I think the U could have won that game easily. We had 8 turnovers that game.
Mhm.
That is easily what would have easily won you the game if you didn't turn over the balls. Maybe you don't score on most of them, but if you just don't fumble the ball or turn over the balls, that limits Duke's possessions and time of possession, which was basically even. If you look at the stats, it was basically half hour, half hour. So imagine even timing, but with 8 turnovers. Make that make sense. That goes to show that we were technically the better team on paper, but we just didn't execute, and that's why we were blown out like that. So, but I
Man.
think, and then also what hurt us was our starting guy Tyler Van Dyke. The guy I've been saying he's a great player, but I don't know. He got down, he got sacked. No protection on the O line. I just can't wait until as you just progress, the O line gets progressively better, and so they can protect their QB. Hopefully, make a run. But as of this year, winning 6 games is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them to make a bowl game, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Listen to me. The most beautiful thing to mankind is that nobody respects the U or is scared of the U anymore. North Carolina's done it, and now Duke's done it, where they just walk into Hard Rock Stadium, pounce all over your end zone, and go like this. It is so shameful and disrespectful that I absolutely love it.
Right in front of 14,000 people too. I mean, it's got to be tough, man. It's got to be tough.
What I will say though is that they have the balls to do it when they win, but when they lose, they talk so much shit. So I'm just calling them out on that shit too.
Okay, but when has that? When has that been? Because yeah, maybe you'll get some
15-4 record against Duke.
I'm saying, okay, yeah, throughout the years.
Okay, so then they have no reason to do it. Oh, they win. Okay, one more out of the 19 games. So out of 20 games, they win 5, and then they all have. Okay, yeah, they throw the U down. I'm like,
okay, what about North Carolina?
Yeah, they've always been good. They've always been a rival, so I can accept that. But Duke, buddy, I mean, you won 1 game, like
still embarrassing, regardless of the record.
No, but their new coach has been doing really well.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
That was in the article.
Any team can get a new coach and get some new players. They can always make a run. Like
That's not the problem. The problem is, look, my problem isn't the program. My problem is the fans. Because the fans are the ones that hype up. And I think you told me one time, you go, oh, I agree with you. The fans are the problem that hype up the team and hype up a new coach so much that when this happens, it just becomes a laughing stock. Like the team just becomes a laughing stock because of these fans that do that.
I kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, like, what do you want the fans to say? Oh, we're not really confident in our new coach. We're just gonna not say anything.
You could say
they're fans for a reason.
No,
Yes, but you don't say we're gonna go back to the national championship and the U is back. You don't say that every single year because it's a cycle. It's a cycle. The Canes fans have a cycle every year.
no, yeah. Plus, and also, if I have to say, being here in Gainesville, like for the Florida Gators, I mean, Billy Napier's in his first year, and everyone after that Utah game was like, "Oh, they're back. Oh, they're going to be contending this year. Oh, they're going to be," you know what I mean? I mean, it's a slow process. So
Yeah.
for Canes fans who are still living in the early 2000s and 90s, they also have to realize that this is the first year of Cristobal, right? So you're focusing on recruiting, you're focusing on building the brand. So again, if you're looking for the Canes to win games, I mean, hell, if you're even looking for them to make a bowl game, you might get disappointed. You just might get disappointed. I don't know how the rest of their schedule might be looking like, but
It's Virginia, FSU.
Well, FSU, Virginia.
Then Georgia Tech, Clemson, and then Pittsburgh.
honestly, and I hate to say this, but like that seems to be almost 3 losses, and I'm talking about one of them being a Hard Rock against Florida State.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
I'm gonna be at the game, so.
Oh, well, I'll be with you in spirit, man. I mean, honestly, I hate the Knowles more than anything else.
I agree.
There's 3 things I hate in this world. It's cold weather,
I love cold weather.
the city of Tallahassee, and then it's the Florida State Seminoles. Cannot stand the team, cannot stand the program, and for some reason they like to be cocky, even though they can't make it out of the ACC. So just can't stand them. Hopefully UM shuts them up. But also, speaking of which, because I also did want to talk about this. I don't know if you guys saw in the ACC a top 25 matchup in Clemson and Syracuse.
Yeah, of course I did, man.
How? I'm sorry, man, but to see Dabo and Clemson still at number 5.
Yes, I don't get it.
Makes no sense.
But if you look at
the starting quarterback, 2 interceptions, and it's like they basically should have lost that game, and the fans still stormed the field. Now we talked maybe about the UM fans and all that stuff, but the Clemson fans, I mean, there's some writing on the wall that they need to see. Like, this is a team that should not be contending for a playoff spot this year at all.
I'm saying right now, I don't know if you guys, if you look at their scores, right, and look at all the box scores, they haven't their offense isn't that potent. It's not that strong. They haven't really been. They've been winning their games by like the sliver of like probably a touchdown or less.
Yes.
And so I'm just like they're just like scraping by. So I'm just like any team can win. Is that they're just well coached. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's go over those rankings. I have them here. At number 1, remaining the same 7-0, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
At 2, Ohio State. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. But at 3, Tennessee. At 4, Michigan. At 5, we were just talking about Clemson. At 6, Alabama. At 7, which I feel like maybe Alabama and this school should swap, but TCU. At 8, we've got Oregon. I don't know why Brandon's giving me that face, but
I mean, Texas Christian. I mean, go Horned Frogs. You
heard it here first. Brandon's giving them an advertisement. At 9, Oklahoma State. At 10, USC. At 11, Wake Forest. At 12, UCLA. At 13, Penn State. At 14, Utah. Down 8 spots at 15 is Ole Miss. At 16 is Syracuse. At 17 at Illinois. Coming in at 18 and not previously ranked is LSU. At 19 is Kentucky. At 20 is Cincinnati.
Again.
At 21, North Carolina. At 22, Kansas State. This one is just amazing. At 23, Tulane. At 24, NC State. And at 25, not previously ranked, South Carolina. What do you boys think about those rankings?
I think that people are finally watching what's going on over there at Oklahoma State with them Cowboys. Their win against Texas, and again, fantastic game to watch. I mean, I was watching Saturday while I was in the lines at Hornites, but I mean, I couldn't take my screen away from me. I mean, that was a fantastic game. I love exactly what they're doing over there in the state of Oklahoma. So the rankings themselves have them at number 9. I think they should be moving up to number 7. Honestly, I think they're, hot take maybe, but I mean, they're right there to be the prominent team and end up winning out, the Big 12, to win out their conference. And probably that will put them over the top, depending exactly of what happens with Bama going down the road and as well Tennessee. Because if Tennessee, if they win out the SEC, and that does mean win against Georgia, which I'm guessing is going to happen sometime, some way, either that be the SEC championship or whatnot in playoffs, they should be the team to beat this year. I don't really have, not saying I don't believe in Ohio State, but if you ask me, do I think that Ohio State has a real challenge ahead of them? I don't see a real challenge ahead of them besides contending in the playoffs this year, depending on who they play in the SEC. Georgia and Tennessee, those should be the 2 favorites this year to even win it all. But from the rankings overall, I like it. I hate to see Ole Miss drop, but then again, that's the SEC. You lose one game, and then it's just drop all the way down your division. So I like the rankings. I think they're pretty fair. TCU, there was a reason why I moved my head on that one. Kind of questionable having them as a top 10 team, though. I don't know if they, match up with other teams like that, but their record, you can't deny it. So I like the rankings this year.
Would you agree with me though that you should flip with Alabama at 6?
I probably wouldn't say it just because they ended up beating out Mississippi State, and even though sure they won that one 30-6, that was like the most even game. Wait, actually, was it Mississippi State or South Carolina? My apologies. Mississippi, right? Yeah, Mississippi State. Yeah. So again, really even game from almost the yards, the first downs, the third down conversions. Just the difference was the score. But at the end of the day, Bryce Young, Heisman winner from last year. Then you still have again, this is a team that went into Arkansas on SEC prime time, that went into Texas A&M, right? No, was playing against Texas A&M. I think whatever it is, Texas A&M play against Arkansas, all primetime games. The only game they lose primetime is against Tennessee on almost a knuckleball through the end zone by the Tennessee special teams. So I might have my words fumbled around, but best believe Nick Saban probably has everything in order. So just needs one more team to lose ahead of him, and he's probably going to be top 4 again.
Hey, man, I'm going to have to – come on. TCU's beaten 4 ranked teams, including Oklahoma State. And they also beat Oklahoma State and Oklahoma and Kansas State, all teams that were ranked.
True, but at the same time –
that's why they're at 7.
Yeah. However, Oklahoma, not that much of a dominant force anymore. Kansas, 5-0 to start the year, incredible. Got the game day and everything like that, but it's like they're slowing down again. So it's like TCU is finding these teams that are like out of their stride in the season and are on their downside.
What about the Oklahoma State one?
The Oklahoma State one, I mean, again, great win for TCU. Not saying that that was a win that they got lucky for. They just met Oklahoma State in the wrong time. But TCU, if you mean that a win against Oklahoma State means that you should be a top 10, I mean, you can make the argument. But at the same time, compared to other schools, let's say, for example, like Bama, or let's say somebody has a schedule that's like, Michigan or whatnot. Yeah. It's hard to overlap that one.
I will say the reason I'm not flipping Alabama and TCU is because if I picture Alabama and TCU playing against each other in a matchup, I can only see Alabama winning. So that's the only reason I put them at 6 and 7. And TCU over Oklahoma State makes sense, 7 and 9. But if you guys know me, since they haven't changed the playoff format, what only really matters is 1 through 4. Let's all be honest here. Until they change the format, 1 through 4 are the only important positions in this thing. So,
right. So we say, do you guys think Georgia has a good chance of repeating this year?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. From their secondary and to their front, I mean, they basically replaced everybody from the draft, which nobody thought they would even do it efficiently. But they ended up replacing that defense from 2021 into another dominant one this year. So, I mean, they have a real chance.
Would you say a national championship between Georgia and Tennessee?
I don't know if I would say that because, again, I would want that because I said prior that, those are the two teams to look at. But the way that the rankings are looking like right now, if you got, let's say, for example, Bama does do something crazy, the committee themselves might put Bama as a 3 or 2 or 1. I can't imagine Alabama coming into the playoffs as a number 4, right? So I think in one way or another, the two teams are going to face off each other, Tennessee and Georgia. Either that be in the, you know, later on the playoffs. But if it is going to be in the playoffs, it's going to be the game before that national championship. I just can't imagine a world where Georgia isn't number 1 and Tennessee, just because the committee, the way it is right now, having the committee barely make Tennessee go in because Alabama is going to be on a stride ending off the year. And I know that for a fact. So, again, Georgia and Tennessee might happen more earlier than we expect.
I will say, depending on who wins and how they win, will be the winner of this year's championship. If Tennessee beats Georgia, they win the championship. If Georgia beats Tennessee, but I want to see how Georgia beats Tennessee though, since they are number 1. If they beat them handedly, then Georgia I feel is the team to beat. But if it's like a one touchdown possession, one possession game, maybe like 3 or less. Right now Georgia's favored by 2 touchdowns. So on the line. So
This
I don't know,
this
bro.
right here is going to be our final talk within the topic of college football. But FIU, they defeat Charlotte 34-15. Granted, Charlotte was like 1-5, and they went on the road. But FIU, with that win, improving to 3-4 on the season, which they have the same record as the Hurricanes. Do you guys think? And before you say your opinion, I'll go down the remaining of the schedule. Do you guys think that FIU in the first year with Coach McIntyre has a chance to get a bowl game? They will be facing Louisiana Tech, who is 2-5,
Okay.
North Texas, who is 4-4, an FAU team that's 3-5, UTEP that's 4-4, and Middle Tennessee, who's also 3-4. Can you guys see FIU reaching the magic number 6?
For me personally, and especially the way that FIU has been playing under McIntyre, I think that the culture has changed over there in that building. But I don't think the talent that they've had is enough to, accelerate themselves to 4 wins to end off the year or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe they make a bowl game yet. However, what we saw on that last Saturday, I mean, it does give you a little bit of foreshadowing. I mean, we saw about, from the quarterback, Grayson James, he ended up having 302 passing yards in that game. I think it was a career high for him as a sophomore, and also having a touchdown. And the best part about it, 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, James himself in the past few games for the Panthers had at least gotten you a turnover in clutch moments that FIU needed to score, that he wasn't able to, go out there and actually put the ball in the end zone. And that's because, again, as a sophomore, he wasn't getting a lot of reps out the back. I mean, this is his first year being the true starter, really, if you ask me, under a new head coach, new offense. So when you look at James, it just depends. It really does depend because we haven't heard much about Tyrese Chambers, who everyone thought was going to be the main focus of this team. But James is really the type of guy that, if he's not doing well, the team's not doing well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen FIU got a win off of their defense, and that's being honest. So the offense itself, if they're looking to get 4 more wins or just in general get to at least 3 wins of the season to try to break in some sort of, that, hey, look at this. We did this year with our new head coach. We're, elevating. James has to be a part of that. And I've been saying that for the longest time, too. You need an FIU quarterback under center. I mean, again, FIU, the Panthers have had transfers for the past 4 years coming at quarterback. James Morgan, Bornschlager the other year. And then right now you have James, and it's like, that means that, hey, we can recruit. We can bring guys in. We can definitely bring guys in. So I think James will be a huge part of FIU's season for the rest of the way because if the offense is winning, the defense will try to catch up.
Here's the way I look at it. if they do get a clinch a bowl appearance, I don't care what they do in the bowl game, whether they win or lose in the bowl game. With the way that they have struggled sporadically throughout games, it's been a roller coaster season so far. They win, they look good. They lose really bad. Then they play good again. For me, it will be a success if they get to a bowl game in the first year under Coach McIntyre. Given the circumstances, I look at it as a success. Are they going to get it though? Just looking at the schedule, maybe I'm fantasizing. I could see them with Louisiana Tech struggling this year, being 2-5, picking up that win. I see them losing to North Texas. My dream would be to beat FAU for the first time in I don't know how many years. Lose to UTEP, and then have that last game against Middle Tennessee decided whether they're going to get that magic number 6 and clinch a bowl game.
That'd be tough.
It'll be tough. Middle Tennessee is also 3-4.
But I will say, I'm looking at. I just checked Louisiana Tech's like their previous games. They scored 20 on Clemson, which is surprising to me. How Clemson's number 5 in the country. Committee's bullshit. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make sense. How does it? I'm not gonna get into it right now. Then they beat Louisiana Tech beats UTEP 41-31.
Conference game.
Yeah. Let me see here. And then they lost to North Texas 47-27.
Another conference game.
I think Louisiana Tech is going to be a toss-up because I don't know how it's going to go down. But if you said you expect a loss to North Texas,
yeah.
This is what happens with Miami teams, and I hate it. I don't know why it happens with Miami teams especially. If FIU were to lose to Louisiana Tech, and you think they lose to North Texas, they had a 2-game losing streak to FAU. And with our history with FAU, that's a 3rd loss in a row. Then they go to UTEP. And UTEP has been surprising people lately. I'll be honest.
Yep.
And let's say I'm not going to say that's another loss. That's 4 in a row. That's already out of contention. And then you have Middle Tennessee, which beat our asses this year. So it's just like, oh my God, do you see? It's a potential 5-game losing streak.
It is. Honestly, the way I look at it, it can either go my way or it can go your way. It's a 50-50. It just depends how FIU shows up.
FIU better show up, bro. I swear.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm just glad that we're away from the 1,400 something days of no wins in FIU football. So glad we're out of that era now. You know what I mean? But the Shula Bowl, and I mean, either if it's played in Boca or in Miami, FIU's got to get that under their belt. A road win's going to be tough, but you got to cook something at home.
It's going to be here this year.
Yeah, it's going to be in Miami.
What day is that?
12th of November.
Yep.
I will.
Hey.
Because like South Carolina's going to be here, and I'm thinking of bringing my. Okay.
Okay. I see the game.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know. I'm thinking about if it's a noon game or a night game, I might have to do that trip.
7:00 p.m.
Yeah,
7 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Best believe I'll be doing that drive. The moment I get that South Carolina noon game, I'll be doing the drive. I'll get the little, plane flight, whatever, go straight to Fort Lauderdale, drive myself down all the way down to Kendall, whatever it is. And I'll be right there front and center in the FIU section.
Is this what I'm thinking? Is this the 3 of us linking up here?
Hopefully, possibly.
Okay. I like it. I'll take it. I like it. All right, let's get to NFL talk. Week number 7. I just got to put it out there. And this thing, I do it every time. Every time, guys, you know I got to do it. How about them Cowboys? Let's go. Dak Prescott's back. 5-2 record. We're on the way, guys. Don't worry. But it's in all seriousness, tough division this year. Tough division in the NFC East. Giants are 6-1. Eagles haven't lost a game. Mind you, I will say that one loss the Giants was from the Cowboys. uh, tough, tough time for us in this division, and we have a positive record, yet we are not leading the division. We shall see. We shall see. But of course, they played the Lions. There was a little bit of rust in the beginning from Dak Prescott trying. Imagine, I mean, this guy played one game with his players, with his teammates, and he was just trying to get back into the limbo with his receivers and whatnot. But towards the back end of this game, second half, he had it together and piled on the points against the Lions and pick up the W. So happy Cowboys win. It makes me a happy man. We'll go on.
I will say about that. I was watching the Cowboys game. What have I told you this year about the Lions? They, even though they have a bad record, they could sneak up on somebody.
Yeah,
Bro,
they're
it was
sneaky.
to the bitter end where it was the defense that came up clutch with the fumble, and then I didn't see. To be honest, Dak Prescott didn't look that well this last game. It was mostly Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I would say the second half he looked better than he did in the first half.
no, but it's the first half. Estaba feo, bro.
Yeah, he was not connecting with his receivers. He was out of tune. But I expected that. I mean, the guys barely had any time with his team. But yeah, next week we go on to face the Chicago Bears.
Easy win.
Dolphins. I see Brandon's got the hat on.
I had to.
Big win on Sunday Night Football over the Pittsburgh Steelers. There were 50 years of the 1972 undefeated team. They were wearing the throwbacks. Somebody had a very negative remark towards Jonka. Said had a trash take of Jonka's plug of the week talking about the Dolphins. Jonka, would you like to explain yourself and your take? Now is the time.
Would you give the audience context of what their opinion was, and what part of my take did they disagree with? Did the Dolphins not win 16-10? Did Tua not throw 4 potential picks?
That is true, yeah.
Did the Pittsburgh Steelers defense not show up yesterday? Are they not well coached? What did I say that is incorrect? And I know who you told me before the stream who said it, so I'm gonna call you out. What did I say? What did I say that was incorrect? Yeah, at me at Junker Don't Stop. You know where it is. You told me.
Hey, listen.
Let's gonna put the IG handle. Hold on. Wait a minute. The man's ready for war. Okay.
What I thought was scary was this man, Tua Tagovailoa, is back from all the nonsense injury. This man had no shame, was putting his body out on the line.
Bro.
Every time he ran the ball, I held my breath. I was like, please don't hit him. Please don't hit him. Don't hit him. Don't do it. Slide. I was very concerned the way he was putting his body out there on the line.
No, man. But honestly, this game itself, I mean, celebrating 50 years, undefeated season. You also got, Tua in the first 3 drives of this game. Talking about bringing the offense down. Mostert, he looked, and again, I think that Mostert is better than Edwards is as a running back itself when it comes to the first string, second string guys. But Mostert being involved in the offense. Then you also have Gesicki getting some catches. Tyreek Hill, again, he is him. Tyreek Hill was out there. Waddle was out there doing slants, crossing routes. When Tua's on the field, the confidence just boosts in the Dolphins locker room. The confidence just boosts in McDaniel's playbook. And we saw it. First 3 drives, got 16 points. Unfortunately, for as weird as this game was offensively going into the second half, where none of these teams even made a single field goal or even got into the end zone or anything like that, the defense, and this is the first time we've seen in 3 weeks, the defense held its ground. We're talking about multiple interceptions, and as well as a game-sealing interception at the end. Unfortunately, I don't recall the guy's name. But, this is a team that I think that besides, again, the Steelers, who are, on kind of the downside right now, 2-5 in their basically process midway through the season. The Dolphins, we're talking about a 4-3 record we're still third in the division because the Jets, weird as it is, the Jets has been blowing up at 5-2, which is like makes no sense. I never thought Zach Wilson would be able to even have, the ability to go into Green Bay and do stuff that he's doing, running away from his O-line, apparently.
But hey, hold up. You mentioned Green Bay. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think Green Bay is a little sus this year and has been not good at all.
I said it before. Aaron Rodgers is not the guy. He's not the guy. Well, he just retired, bro. Do a whole rebuild of the team, bro.
I don't
he
know,
can't
man.
do anything.
I don't know. He's right now in the Tom Brady era of his career right now, where he's kind of in that last couple of years in Green Bay where it's like, man, I'm still good, but the team around me is just horrible. I mean, you still got a young core receivers out there, and plus their running back, Jones, he's good, but you can't be giving the ball all the time because you want to keep the ball in Aaron's hands. So if you ask me, Aaron Rodgers, not going to retire soon, but probably might go home to the West Coast sooner than later, especially the way that things are going in San Fran with Jimmy G, which, again, love Jimmy G. Garoppolo, I think, is underrated, as it should be.
I agree with you.
But, again, if it works, it works. So depends on what Aaron does later on in his career. But this year, and especially in the past years where we feel like, they start real slow, but then, Aaron's like, relax. And they end up making the playoffs and winning the division out of nowhere. It just feels different this year because of the loss of Adams, though. I just don't think that he has it's not even an scapegoat to go to this year.
I will say my Patriots, they're playing right now against the Bears.
Yep, you're losing by 3.
Yeah, I want to report that Bill Belichick has decided to put in Bailey Zapp and remove Mac Jones.
Wow.
I know. Hey, if that's what pays the bills, bro. If that's what pays the bills.
Is that your Conference USA connection though? Is the Western Kentucky kid coming out of nowhere? I mean, bro, you gotta love it. You just gotta love
down the field. He's just going down the field with the offense, and I'm like, yo, Mac Jones, Alabama kid, where are you?
I thought you were gonna say Bill Belichick has inserted his dog to the offense. Okay, Brandon. You mentioned Tom Brady a little earlier. It's not a good look, man. The last at least 2 or 3 games, he's been bitching every single game, and it's not a good look. And that's why I told you guys today. I think he just should have stayed retired, man. He should have just stayed retired. There's no reason for him to be playing. Me and Jonka, my mom, had this conversation. Yes, my mom was part of this conversation. Both of them disagreed with me.
Completely.
They disagree. I don't think he needs to be playing. He's got 7 rings already. What else more do you have to prove? Go home. Spend time with your family. Be a dad. There's no reason for you to continue playing. For what? So you can come on national television now for 3 straight weeks being a diva, bitching at your team? There's no reason for it.
Well, I mean, that last part about the family thing, it's a little bit late for that.
Thank you.
But for the point for at least Tom Brady still playing at the age 45, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, he got outclassed by Philip Walker in the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even Baker Mayfield. It wasn't even like Sam Darnold or Corral, who I still cannot believe is not finding enough time to even make it onto a starting lineup, especially when the quarterback room is like this in Carolina. But Walker, who was, I don't even know what it was that he was playing before. I know he was like on some random team that wasn't even the NFL. But the guy has played in like, Canada, a random USA league that popped up for like 2 years and then ends up making it to the NFL. And says, Tom Brady doesn't even like, the whole story was Tom Brady, but Philip is over here like balling out against him. So if Tom Brady needs to like retire, if they're going to keep on paying him, I wouldn't retire, honestly. If I got like a couple million every single year, I wouldn't retire. But if I'm Tom Brady, I'm looking to win more games. I don't know if Tampa has it in them, especially in the NFC, where you have these teams, especially out west in the West division, the NFC West, where you have the Rams, Arizona, who's slowly starting to climb up, and as well as Seattle, who actually got a shocking win against the Chargers this week.
Yep.
And, again, I mean, again, I mean anybody could win on any given. Excuse me, any given Sunday, anybody could win. So
I will say, I was watching the Tampa Bay game on my phone. Like there were so many, like the O line, the bunch, because they have a bunch of rookies on the O line right now. All their regular starters are injured, so they have just no experience on the O line, so they're just getting destroyed on the line. And then Tom Brady, how he's supposed to throw it quick, he has no time to throw it. So it's like, and then he had that one pass to Mike Evans. I don't know if you guys saw it. That that he bobbled it, and then it was a wide open touchdown lane straight. That would have been 7 right there. And then it's like, oh yeah, Julio Jones injured. You got Godwin coming in and out every other week. You got Mike Evans bobbling that ball, and then you got these new rookie guys that get no reps for starting. They just have to come off the bench. And so I can understand why Tom Brady is frustrated, but also, you are the starting quarterback. You have to try to figure it out.
I think they actually told him, please stop breaking the iPad.
But I will say though, I'm gonna let people know every year that Tom Brady, there's a if there's any drama with Tom Brady, we've seen it. He somehow ends up late in the playoffs. He's in like the NFC or AFC championship game, or he's in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, once he gets his starters back into play, Julio Jones and everybody gets healthy, they start coming back. I'm letting you know, I have a feeling that they can make a huge run. I'm telling you right now. Once he gets his O line back and he has time to throw it and he can like actually look at the passing where he's gonna go to and do what he does, then I'd be scared. Because we saw what happened first week 1 against the Cowboys. We saw how they balled out.
To end the NFL, I'm just gonna to end the NFL topic. I want you guys to give me your power rankings after week 7. Give me your top 5 in the league right now. Any of you can go first.
Well, I'm gonna have to pull out a sheet, but before I do that, I'm gonna just give the credit where the credit's due. Number 1 in the NFL, Philadelphia Eagles. All right, the offense, it just looks more different because the defense has always been there, especially when they were in the Super Bowl with Graham out there, linebacker. But now the offense with Jalen Hurts, now with Sanders behind him in the running back, and as well as Goddard, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. I mean, that's an offense that is shot. I mean, it just sounds like a fantasy team out there that they have for the weapons for Hurts. So that, to me, I think it should be the first team out there. Behind them, I will have Kansas City, because they actually had a really dominant blowout win against San Fran in San Francisco. And this is a San Fran team that now brings in Christian McCaffrey. And, again, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, sure they lost Hill, but I mean, it's hard to deny that this team is still a threat in the AFC. And sticking to the AFC, I'll have them afterwards, the Bills with Josh Allen, because somehow, some way, they're always going to be a primetime game every single week, and for good reason. I don't think there's anybody denying that Davis and Diggs are probably the best wide receiver duo besides Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in the AFC. So it's hard to go against that. So the last 2, that's a coin toss. I'm not too positive on that one. That could be anybody. Hot take, I can even have, one of the teams out in the NFC East, honestly. And it's not going to be just the Eagles, but it could be, the Cowboys.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Way, we have another team coming in there because that entire division besides Washington has been elite. And I mean elite. I mean, even Danny Dimes and the Giants.
Yeah.
I got to say, Daniel Jones, I mean, I think a lot of people deserve an apology for him. And also Saquon being healthy throughout this midway year. I mean, it's a huge part of why the Giants are so successful this year because they never had Saquon for a full year of health. So, in reality, the last 2 are always going to be a toss-up. Honestly, you give it one of those teams in the AFC East, and, just because, I'm going to still say Dolphins, all right, for number 5. Because, again, home guy, love Miami Dolphins, lived right outside the stadium. But also for the fact that Tua gets hurt, 3 weeks they lose. Tua's back, they win. They're 4-0 with Tua as the starter. And to put all on top, the defense, they could play Super Bowl caliber defense anytime, any night. just depending on exactly how healthy that team is. So the Dolphins are still a threat every single week. No matter the record shows, they're still a threat.
Jonka?
I just got the list right. Okay. At 1, I got Philly. I got the Eagles. At 2, I got the Bills over the Chiefs at 3, just because the Bills did beat the Chiefs. And then 4, which this was the hard one for me, because I didn't know who to choose: either Giants, Vikings, Cowboys. Who was it? Whatever. But I chose the Vikings because of Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Thielen. They're balling right now. And at 5, we talked about them before. I brought it. It was like a little sneak peek, but I told you the Jets, bro. The Jets at 5. The reason I have the Cowboys at 6, and the only reason I have the Cowboys at 6 is because their offense hasn't been able to score that much. They're middle of the pack, maybe 20th in offense, but they are elite on defense. But in this age in football, if you can't score points, it's really difficult unless you have a good defense. So that's why I have the Jets at 5, Cowboys at
Let me ask,
6.
as an offense, how many points should you be averaging a game for you to be considered good?
I'd say 28 plus. To be considered good.
Well, that's all meta numbers. That's like, dude, I mean that means you're basically averaging 4 touchdowns or more. That's an elite class.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
You said good. I didn't say
good.
average.
Good is like an average team, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm saying average. Like how many points should a team average to be considered good? And this man says 28.
But at the same time, we're talking about the top 5 teams, so you can't be good to be top 5.
Yeah, but you gotta be a good defense. No, you can be having a great defense and a good offense. Yeah,
but you guys said offense, not defense.
All right. We hit 20.
Well, let me just point out something. The Jets scored 40 points on the Dolphins. The Cowboys have yet to score 30.
Who have the Jets played?
Dolphins, Steelers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Packers.
We played
Giants.
Well, first of all, we beat – this guy's just a Cowboy hater is what he is. We beat both teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. Both teams. And we beat the Giants, who are 6-1. We almost mounted a comeback against the Eagles that were wiping our ass, and we almost did a comeback. Averaging 20 points a game, and you don't want to give it to us. You give it to the Jets.
No offense to the –
I'm not saying you didn't win. I'm pointing out the offense. You guys have not been able to score over 30. It's your defense that's winning you the games.
So you're telling me that you have to score 30 more points for you to be good?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you guys haven't been able.
You just said to be an average, to be good, you have to have 28 plus. Did he not just say that, Brandon?
Well, he said for the offense, not for the team.
For the offense, yes.
Okay, but we're ranking. I put the Jets over the Cowboys just because of their offense being a little bit better than the Cowboys. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. That O-line looks kind of – I mean, it's more or less Zach Wilson than that O-line that's really picking that team up. Because, again, I mean, the Jets this year – I mean, that's not an anomaly. That is just something else this year. I don't know. It's just that Zach Wilson came into this year, obviously, with a, name all over the news for personal reasons of his. Pretty sure we all know.
Yeah.
And then he just came in as a dog and had that dog in him, and it's like week 7. That dog hasn't left. I mean,
he's been the playmaker. Unbelievable, bro. I'll go do mine before I blow up this kid even more.
What do you mean? I'm giving you facts.
It's not facts. It's not facts.
It is facts.
It's bullshit.
The last time the Cowboys scored more than 30 points was in the preseason.
So you have to have more
You
than
and
30 points.
CD Wilson, you got Dak Prescott. Oh no, wait, Cooper Rush. By the way, Cooper Rush. My bad. And then the only loss that you guys in Week 1 was against the Buccaneers team, which is
Yeah.
trash right now, and you guys got blown out the water.
It was 19-3.
Okay, still though, you guys didn't score a touchdown.
Week 1.
Yeah, so what? It's still the season.
How do you know they're trash when it was week 1? We can't determine that week 1.
But you were even saying Week 1. I think we're gonna beat Buccaneers. Whenever I use logic on you, can't bring it back, bro.
I never said we were gonna beat the Buccaneers.
My God, Daniel, please don't start with that.
I never said we were gonna beat the Buccaneers.
Mhm.
I said it was gonna be a tough game, the same way it was last year when we played them week 1, which was a very close game last year, week 1.
So would you say the Cowboys' offense is better than the Jets' offense
Yes.
as of right now?
Right now, yes. That might change, but of right now, yes. I agree with Brandon. Brandon has some more logic to this.
I got no comment on that. I mean, the O-line I hate for New York, but like, I mean, we talk about, wide receivers like Moore, and then also for some reason Hall has been like this rookie that's like carrying the Jets offense. And actually, funny enough, I think he also got an injury where I don't know if he's out for the season. I don't know how long for the
Recently,
season.
I don't know yet. They haven't said anything.
So again, huge hit for the Jets. I don't think it's gonna last forever. But in the sense of the Cowboys offense, and again, Dak Prescott finally back, and they had a great record rush. And, CeeDee Lamb's still on that team. Zeke is obviously going to get you, the Zeke yards that he's going to give every single game, night in, night out. And Pollard and
It's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of assets
Pollard
on that offense. However, is it enough assets where I can say that, wow, Dak Prescott really has, a weapon next to him? They don't have Amari Cooper there anymore. I mean, more or less, they've been breaking down, and I'm pretty sure, Daniel could probably say this more than I can because he follows that team. But from my understanding is that they've lost weapons over this offseason, and Dak is coming back after this injury. And again, terrific situation with Rush winning those games and still being a part of that division. But Dak is coming back in the heat of it like, hey, I got to do everything as the quarterback to make sure that my offense gets the right looks because I don't have guys who are going to be playmakers like that. I don't even think CeeDee Lamb is a borderline playmaker. He's not like an Oklahoma, yard after the catch, breaking off tackles. This is the NFL. He's not built like that yet. He doesn't have that muscle mass to him to really break off tackles. So, again, Jets, the way they've been playing at 5-2 record, phenomenal. I think Zach Wilson has to be given more credit for it. But compare it to the Cowboys, both teams, not crazy weapons. However, both of them are efficient in what they do. It's very even.
I agree with you. Thank you.
What happened? I haven't seen Gallup in Daniel. I don't know what happened to Gallup because he came back from injury and then all of a sudden he had like a big game. But then all of a sudden I haven't seen him anymore. I don't know what happened to Gallup.
He played Sunday.
I didn't.
He played and just Dak overthrew him, of course, because getting used to being back.
Yeah.
I want to go with my top 5. I hate to say it, but I got to give it to them. Credit where credit's due. 1, Philadelphia. At 2, I'm going to agree with Jonk on this one. I got Buffalo. At 3, I'm going to go Kansas City. At 4, I'm going to go Minnesota. And at 5, I'll go Dallas.
Yeah, so basically the same, just a switch.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's rooting for Kirk Cousins. I'm guessing this year is that what we're doing with the Vikings this year?
They look good.
Yeah, they look good, but at the same time, I want to see Kirk Cousins prime time in the playoffs.
I can
say something.
The reason I didn't put the Giants over the Vikings is because of Daniel Jones over Kirk Cousins. I can't do that.
Oh, you cannot deny Danny Dimes. He has the coolest nickname in football.
I argue with that. I like porn star Jimmy.
Oh shit! I mean,
I would have given the Giants 5. To be honest with you, I would have given the Giants 5. The only reason why I didn't is because Dallas beat them. That's the only reason. I give New York 6.
Okay.
But anyways, that was a good. I haven't gotten upset like that on this show for a while. Jonka knows how to grind my gears with his nonsense that he speaks
I
sometimes.
don't know. It's facts. If you
It's
don't
not
want to,
facts. It's nonsense.
it's facts.
The same way that you ride Tom Brady all day and will never put any blame on him. You'll blame everyone on the team but him. We get it. We get it.
I said that Tom Brady isn't playing good either. It's just, I told you. I said it.
We get it. We appreciate everything he did for you in New England, but you have to state the facts sometimes.
I did say it.
We will be back next week for episode 69, I believe. It's 16, episode 69.
Yep. Nice.
Come on, man. Come on. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.